how control damages a relationship, there are 5 things. The first is that it kills emotional safety. Nobody wants to be managed. Nobody that's healthy wants to be monitored or manipulated in an adult relationship, no matter how subtle it is. Because when we're trying to control, our partner feels unsafe, they feel on edge, they feel a little bit defensive. Sometimes they're walled off even because they're anticipating that what you're saying is an attempt to get them to do something, and they're like trying to protect themselves from it. So over time, that erodes trust and openness and warmth from your partner. So if you're somebody who tends to be on the controlling side, you might already be experiencing this, that you can't even make a request or approach without them being a little bit on edge and sort of in self-protection mode. And then that hurts, and it hurts your feelings like, why are you acting like that? And it's because that's how they're perceiving you based on the history of your relationship. The other thing is that it breeds resentment for that same reason, right? When someone feels coerced into meeting your needs, even subtly, they may comply just because they don't have the energy to deal with the fallout, but they will resent it later. I always tell people, like, you're not actually doing your spouse any favors or the relationship any favors if you go along with something that you don't want to do for the short term, if it breeds long-term resentment. But it is really common. It happens all the time. So if you feel like they have resentment against you, this would be something to really look at, because that resentment, that comes out sideways. It comes out through passive-aggressive comments. It can be withdrawal. It can be eventual blow-ups, like one small thing happens and then all of a sudden they're blowing up over it because they've been stuffing and stuffing and stuffing until, the straw that broke the camel's back. The third thing is it blocks authenticity. Control requires us to hide our vulnerability. If instead of saying, I need more connection, or I miss you, or I'd really love to connect, if instead of saying that, we guilt trip or criticize or demand, they don't really know how we're really feeling, right? And so in a way, you're sort of taking away their option to make a choice to meet you where you are in that place of vulnerability, which is a gift. And that's what really builds trust. But if the vulnerability isn't leading that, and it's coming from a place of fear, that creates a power struggle instead of true intimacy. That authenticity is required for true emotional intimacy. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, right? Because if you come forward and express a vulnerable need, and then you're opening up to giving them power to disappoint you. And that's hard. But that's what's required in an adult relationship. And there might be some healing that needs to happen internally to be able to do that.